Hi guys, Ren here. It's been a while since I rode outside because of the quite harsh winter we had. So luckily the weather has turned out to be pretty good in the last couple of days, so I was riding outside and that is very nice to be finally out, but it does bring some differences as well. So some of those problems are related to the wheels and the tires, because basically I only have one tube set up now. All the rest of them are tubeless. So let's start with the head wheels. Now I bought these second hand, they were barely ridden and set up tubeless, which is a great thing. They are sealed up perfectly and they just worked. The problem was that they've been set up quite a long while ago, and also they weren't exactly set up correctly. So the first problem was that there was just a single layer of tubeless rim tape glued onto the rim. That is perfectly fine for mountain bike applications because there the pressures are quite low, but in a road application, no matter how strong your tape is, it's just going to punch through, and that's exactly what happened. Luckily it was while the bike was still at the workshop, so it was not really an issue. So I decided to tear down both wheels and retape them with Silca Premium tubeless tape, which turned out to be pretty nice. Also the wheels are humongously wide internally, so yeah, very easy fit. But then I encountered another problem, which was some old sealant stuck to the tire itself. At first I didn't think it's going to be a problem. I removed most of it, the big chunks, and then tried inflating the tire. The problem at that point was that the tire was extremely sticky from the inside because of the old sealant, and I couldn't inflate it no matter how hard I tried because it was just stuck together. It didn't want to create an actual tire form. So I had to wash out all the old sealant, clean the tires nicely up so they don't stick together, and then inflation was pretty straightforward. I also applied some new Stans sealant as well. And another thing I've done is I've put on a little Silca Aero valve cover. Now this is especially useful on these carbon fairings that had used, because the only reason they say these wheels are not tubeless ready officially is because if you really want to crank down on the valve stem to make it seal properly, then you might deform this thin laminate in here. The thing is though that with this nice large rubber piece you get the pressure evenly distributed, so you can crank it down pretty hard to make it seal perfectly, and this way you're not damaging the fairing, which is, well, it turns out to be extremely good. I've ridden this bike, rides very nicely. I'm very happy overall with these wheels. Braking is excellent, so is the stability in the crosswind. So yeah, they will definitely worth the money I got them for. Then moving on to the 4.5s. Now, no matter how long a standard clincher stands just like that in the workshop, it doesn't really degrade in any way. But I went out for a longer ride today, wanted to do 4 hours, but an hour and a half in, I got a sudden deflation of the rear tire. I thought it was a puncture caused by a little stone, but I couldn't find anything. I put in a new tube in there, and when I tried inflating it with the CO2, I had one little problem, and that's because I wasn't using threaded valve extensions, and when I pressed the CO2 canister and the inflator on, I just pressed the whole assembly basically inside the rim because there wasn't any pressure to hold it up, and that caused me to lose quite a bit of CO2. The tire was inflated, but it wasn't really perfect. It was around 4 or 5 bar, I think, which could have been better, so I had to cut my ride short. I didn't want to risk anything because I didn't have any other cartridge or tube. So I decided to switch now to these Silca threaded valve extenders, and these should prevent that kind of issue because the valve is just held by the nut against the rim, so you can press it firmly on and inflate it fully with the CO2 cartridge. Yeah, so that's with the 4.5s, and now I'm afraid I'd have to redo the 7/8 as well. These are set up tubeless, but that was back in October, and I've done it with the slime sealant. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about how it's going to look outside, even though they hold the pressure pretty well. So the season is now around the corner, and I want to use this for my first race, or races should I say. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that they are perfectly set up. I took off the tire, and not much of a surprise really. The slime has completely dried out since October when I put it in. It's just some real thick slimy grease in there, so I'll have to clean this up and rim as well and put some fresh sealant in. Okay, I've managed to clean up the tire pretty well with just some soapy water. Now it's ready to go back onto the rim with some fresh sealant. Okay, the 7/8 are now ready as well, set up with fresh sealant, holding the pressure nicely, everything seated properly. So basically, yeah, every wheel is now ready, 4.5s updated with the threaded valve extenders, new tubeless setup for the heads and for the 7/8, and the 2 spokes have been freshly set up, so that should be or shouldn't be an issue. Now basically all my bikes and wheels are ready for the season, except, well, the time trial bike I'm still waiting for the proper seat post and its own saddle, so this one can go back on the Madone and this one can go back on the cross bike. But yeah, other than that, I'm good to go, and I'm really looking forward to the races. If you want to see more about these bikes and how they are set up, then don't forget to tune into our channel for some build videos and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.